So I'm coming on with my former strength and conditioning mentor. So in college, I studied at Purdue. I studied strength and conditioning, sports performance, and my mentor, who will tell you all the ways we got to know each other, is going to be joining me live for a little chit chat to kind of just talk about how athletes can be taking advantage of being home and working out and still working on their dreams and their goals from a physical standpoint. So I can't wait till you guys get to know him a little bit. Coach Carlisle's in the house.
How are you?
I'm good. Did you say you were going to be out by the pool right now?
They won't let us in.
Seriously?
Yeah, so I just ran back. They won't let us in.
You must be in shape. You're not like huffing or puffing or anything.
I think I stopped getting out of staying in shape from all those running sessions that we did.
Of course not. Okay, so we got to tell people how our relationship started. And I feel like you'd probably tell a better story than me at this point. So tell everybody how we met and why you're still my buddy.
Well, we met probably a freshman year. It was my first year at Purdue. I was director of sports performance, overseeing the training programs for all the athletic teams. Mm-hmm. And I always gravitate toward people that have great positivity. You can always see the hunger in athletes' eyes to want to get better. And when I met you, I was like, she's going to be special. She's going to be special. And we formed a great relationship. You were exercise science major, and at the time we created that sports performance concentration major.
Thank goodness.
Which allowed us to spend some great time together, and then we became running partners, and I used to just go ahead and just smoke you down the track. And
yes. Did you see Nico's on here? I think that's Nico. Yeah, Nicodemus just said facts. I love it. Yeah, so Coach Earls was my strength coach my freshman year, and then I had Nico, and then I had Gary. Yeah, we had like everybody. And then Jonathan.
Nicodemus is on there?
Yeah, he's on here. Look at him. He's commenting.
Nico.
Yeah, I call him Nico.
Nico.
Hey, Nico.
I never called him Nico.
I miss my workouts with my team. I had the best strength coaches. Okay, so the real purpose why we're kind of hanging out today is, one, we're all cooped up at home. Like, you probably get to go to your facility, which I'll let you talk about here in a second. But I have athletes that are stuck in their homes and they think all their dreams are like gone now because they have no place to work out. They have no place to hit. And I'm trying to like convince people that there are still opportunities to gain strength, especially mentally and physically. And it's not hope, like they shouldn't be hopeless right now. Like if anything, this is where we're going to see the best athletes shine, because they're going to be taking advantage of it. So I kind of wanted you to hop on here, tell people what you do and where you're at specifically, because we're talking from like all the way across the country right now, which I think is the coolest thing. And then we'll kind of just like go from there. So let people know what you're up to right now.
All right. My name is Coach Duane Carlisle, and I own Carlisle Performance Training Systems, which is located in the Bay Area. The Bay Area meaning California. We're located in San Jose. We work with middle school, high school, college, and professional athletes. And it was part of I'm going full circle.
Yeah.
So back in the day in the Philadelphia market, I owned Lightning Fast Training System, which we had 3 locations. And they were performance centers. And at the time, we were the first full-time sports performance facility in the tri-state area. Tri-state meaning Philly, New Jersey, and Philly, New Jersey, and Delaware. That's what they call the tri-state area. And as I mentioned, I'm back full circle, back in the Bay. We opened up about 2 years ago. It's been phenomenal, just connecting with all the Bay Area athletes that we serve. And man, I'm just anxious to get back out there and start directly coaching them again.
Yeah, it's hard to be a coach right now. Like not being able to physically like give high fives and fist pumps, like it sucks.
Hey, let's do a virtual 1 on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There you go.
We're so
That's
cheesy.
What we do right now.
Who are we? Oh my God. Okay, so I kind of want you to talk about your kids too. So you have 4 kids, right?
Yeah.
I think I've only met 3 of them.
You met three. Yep.
And they're all stellar athletes. I wonder why they're all stellar athletes.
I was training when they came out the womb.
Yeah, I know.
Like your dad.
That's true. That's true. I know. And one thing I wanted to kind of have you talk about a little bit is, as a dad, but also a coach, what was maybe something that you struggled with being a dad and a coach at the same time for your kids, but also one thing that, like, hands down, it was probably one of the best things ever. It still is, to be able to train your kids.
I'll tell you what I struggled with early on.
Yeah.
Right? And it really came with Amir, being the oldest son.
Mm-hmm.
I struggled with being insensitive to his environment, his world at times. Because when I was coaching Amir, I was working at the 49ers. I was the head strength coach there. And Amir was younger. So I was going from an NFL environment, and given that he played football and he was very, very gifted and talented, it was hard for me to separate those two worlds. And so I put undue pressure on him to be great early.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as the two youngest ones grew up, I changed my approach, and my wife implemented a great rule. So, like all the people listening, you may want to take this back to your parents if you're a young athlete. My wife implemented the 60-minute rule. As a dad and coach, you want to give immediate feedback. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You're watching them play, and let's say they're playing basketball. There could be 10 kids on the court, but you're watching and zeroed into your kid.
Yeah.
And you're watching them, and it's like this hyper focus on your kid. Well, my wife created a stop gap or created a buffer between me and him post game by saying, you know what, you can't give him any feedback for 60 minutes. And
Charisse is a genius.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And I'd be sitting there like, but it calmed me down. It allowed me to gain perspective, and it ultimately helped my relationship with him, and it helped me to coach him better as he matriculated up the ranks. And so that was probably the insensitivity, but that led to an outgrowth of me being able to help with the two youngest ones and have a better approach with them.
Yeah.
And the greatest thing is just that seeing the journey. Just seeing the journey. It's so funny when I look back and I see pictures of my boys when they were younger and us doing certain things, because I made training videos with them when they were little, and I look back and I'm like, oh my goodness, how in the world was I tripping when they were that young? Because you do realize that they grow, but seeing the journey, the ups, the downs, because that's ultimately what makes them as people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that those are teachable moments, like competitive situations, the practice, the preparation, the injuries, all those things are teachable moments that prepare them for life.
Yeah. I love that. Can you tell your family I said hi, by the way?
I will.
I miss you guys.
They know that I'm on with you.
I think that's just so funny that, I bet you my dad would say the exact same thing. Like my dad, I'm the oldest. My dad was so hard on me. And, I don't regret that. I don't regret the fact that my dad was so hard on me, like growing up, because it made me tough. And I probably wouldn't have been as tough as I was if he wasn't. But my dad would probably tell you right now, yeah, I learned a lot from you to where my two younger sisters, he figured it out by then. But we did a lot of trial and error together.
Yeah, because the two youngest ones are watching you. They're watching the interaction between dad and you. They're seeing how dad, like you said, he's tough on you. And they're looking at it. And guess what? They're taking those mental notes, as you know that they did. And they know what buttons to press, what buttons not to press. Because you have to bear the brunt of the burden.
Mm-hmm. So
I think younger siblings get a lot more. They get a lot more perspective than, say, the older one. The older one is just getting pummeled. And like good days and bad days.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of families probably are experiencing the same thing right now. Because a lot, like, there's a trend, like a lot of players or athletes will play the same sport. I mean, that's not exactly how it worked for us, but like Christina is the middle child. She ended up playing softball. And like you said, like was taking mental notes the whole time. Anna went off on her own adventure and played volleyball, but still like same thing applies. Like the work ethic, knowing what buttons to press with dad, like she got it figured out. Like, and honestly, she tested him probably more than I ever did. Like I was always just like, I'll just take it. It's fine. I'll just cry on mom's shoulders sometimes. My favorite thing, or it's funny now, but it wasn't funny then. Like you think about it, basketball, I played basketball and my dad played it in college. There's so many more errors that you can make in a basketball game than a softball game. So like post basketball games, if I knew I played bad, I was like, Mom, can I go in your car? And my dad was just like, no, you're not going in her car. You're coming in my car. And we're going to talk about all the mistakes you made in that game. We didn't have this 60-minute rule that Charisse came up with. I wish we would have. But I laugh about it now because like I used to dread those conversations. I mean, but it just shows that you guys care so much about us. And like, and I didn't realize that then.
And I think that is one of the most important things to acknowledge from a kid standpoint. Like oftentimes, right, it's kind of hard to see the picture when you're in the frame and you're going through it and you feel like, well, Dad, why are you always on me? But you got to sometimes zoom out, take a step back and just show a level of appreciation and acknowledge the fact that my mom and my dad care enough about me and enough about helping to support my dream to be able to have these kind of conversations with me, to be able to drop. As parents, we give up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Time. Think about how many times dad was out there, mom was out there throwing pitches to you. Think about how many times they drove you to practice and then they drove you to the game. They do this hitting instructor and that person. So it's, as a parent, we're in this thing with you and we're going through the journey. And I think most parents will say that all they want in return is for you to give your best. Give your best and work toward competing up to the level that you're capable of playing at. Parents are good. But I think it's when they know you're capable of so much more and you're not giving it. I think that can be a great source. And I'm not trying to speak for every parent, but I know for me, that's the only time when my boys would hear me say something. If they had to get this, like say a basketball game, and I went like this, Ashley. I hit my chest like that meant, man, come on now, let's go. Give me some heart. You ain't playing hard enough. Mm-hmm. So like when I did that, my boys knew, like after a game, man, Mom, thank God for the 60-second rule. Because I'd be sitting on my hands like, come on, son.
Yeah.
You got to go harder than that.
Yeah. So there's so many parents across the country right now that are struggling because they know their kids have like these big dreams and aspirations in their sport, but right now are cooped up at home. Like, how would you advise parents and kids right now to still compete even though they're stuck at home?
Yeah. So kids being at home is a different than say like when I was growing up, right?
Yeah.
When I was growing up, we didn't have the video games to necessarily entertain us. I don't care. I mean, I'm showing my age. Who cares? I'm proud. But anyway, we didn't have video games. We didn't have a lot of the things. We couldn't get online, like Snapchat our peeps. We couldn't get online and play video games against our friends.
Yeah.
That interaction didn't exist. So I was thinking back, like, what if this happened when I was growing up? Like, what would I be doing, right? And I know that I would be trying to find some way to do some kind of physical activity, right? That would have been my first and foremost thought.
Yeah.
I got to do something physical because I'm a high energy person and I got to do something.
Yeah.
So on my Instagram, I posted a little video, the video cover of a video. Amir was probably 8 or 9 years old. It was called Home Fitness for Kids. Our boys were homeschooled, and I ended up putting together this video inside of our home. I had put like a track in the basement of our home. I had a turf area, so it was an little mini athletic performance center.
Yeah.
But I created things to get them doing some type of physical activity during in between breaks of their homeschool education.
Right.
And my wife loved it. But here's the deal: you can get so much better during this period of time. One, you got to make a commitment to.
Yes.
Make a commitment.
Yeah.
Because a video game, that's not going to get you better, right? It's not going to get you better. You can make a commitment to just doing something. Like, put on your calendar, these are the 3 or 4 things that I'm going to commit to. Flexibility, mobility. Now, we can hit our core. We can hit our lower body. There's a lot of lower body exercises. There's upper body exercises that you can do. I mean, you can put together a nice little 10 to 12 exercise circuit, and you rotate through that 3 times, right? So you get 36 rounds, and you can make it a total body. You can make it fun. You can do so many different things with it, but do something. I'm talking about on the physical side.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can speak to what they would do on the skill side. So tell me, I don't want to take over the interview, but
I wanted you to.
So what are some things that you would recommend on the skill side, physical side, for athletes to be doing during this time?
Yeah. So I'm glad we're having this conversation, because you know how seriously I take speed and agility and strength. And there's so much stuff that you can do. I mean, everybody has some sort of a yard or somewhere they can just move. I would totally recommend some sort of like speed and agility, like move off the line, work on your transitions, like simple things. Like if you have a wad of socks at home, I'm literally going to pull out a wad of socks. You can work on transition. So like if this is the ball, you can work on transitioning to your throwing hand. Something as simple as that you can work on at home. I just put up a video on YouTube with like all these different hitting drills you can do. And like you can either have a net and a tee and balls to hit with and get better, or you can have nothing and still get better. And that's where I think, as a coach, you can probably completely relate to this. I think it's one of our gifts to be able to pull something out of nothing and like see a tool or see a cone and like create this crazy drill around it. And I think that's where we're like, we can actually work right now and help athletes figure out how they can train from home with the unique things that they have. Like you can get better with a tennis ball. You can get better with a tennis racket. Like there's so many different ways to get better. And I wanted you to kind of talk about, at least the speed and the strength aspect, because if we're sitting on the couch watching Netflix or playing video games all day, our muscles are literally getting smaller and smaller by the minute. So it's, go ahead.
And you're detraining, right? You're detraining, you're deconditioning.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you look at training, I always look at it like a bank account. Everybody can understand the bank account analogy, right? You open up a bank account, and every time we train, it's like putting a deposit in.
Yeah.
Deposit.
Yeah, I love that.
We fill that bank account up. What are withdrawals? Withdrawals when we take money out. Withdrawals are things when we eat poorly, when we sleep, when our sleep is poor, when we're not, it's more so to do with lifestyle things, where we're just not managing ourselves well. In addition to that, another withdrawal is when we don't train. There are certain qualities that you can maintain longer over a course of time when you don't engage in that activity than other qualities. Well, guess what? If you're not training, conditioning is one of those qualities. It'll go real quick.
Yeah.
If you're not repeatedly feeding your metabolic and your energy system. Mm-hmm. Another quality, speed. You don't use it, you'll lose it. So if we're talking about a sport like softball is a sport. It's a pure anaerobic game.
Yep.
It's quick, fast, explosive game. As you mentioned, get out, man, run some poles. If you're outside, run pole to pole. Estimate the distance. And if we want to continue to maintain speed, run 10s, run 20s, run 30s, right? So you run a 10-yard dash, you walk back. You run a 20, you walk back. You run a 30. That completes one set of an acceleration circuit. Our focus on the acceleration, right? As a softball player, you can simulate coming out of the batter's box, running to first base, right? That doesn't take any equipment.
Exactly.
Your focus is on hip pocket, eye socket with those arms, and we're attacking the ground and pushing the ground away from us, right? Those simple little cues that you don't need a coach to be there, to be present for you. But doing things like that, on the strength side, there's so much stuff that you can do to strengthen your body. Here's the deal. Your body doesn't know whether you're lifting a dumbbell, a kettlebell, a bag. It doesn't know. All it knows is that your brain's telling your body that there's a resistance, there's a load, and if I'm going to move that load from here to here, I have to exert a certain amount of muscle force to be able to move that implement or that load from point A to point B. So if we're doing bands, right? If we're doing push-up body weight exercises, if we just take, and you go in your garage and you take a sandbag, I don't know how many people have a sandbag in the garage, but you take something and you're lifting that implement, and you do it enough times, you're going to elicit some type of training effect, which will result in your body having an overload response.
Yeah.
Right? So there's so many different things, as you mentioned, that you can do.
You were talking about lifting things, adding strength, but we're also a game about power. And I know you know this like better than I do. How important is jump training? How important is, we were talking about agility, but I love implementing jumping into my hitting workouts just because of how much power you need in your lower half. But like, what's like 2 different jump exercises people could do to develop more power as a hitter?
Let me start by prefacing this. So when you look at how does jumping, when you're jumping in a vertical orientation, translate into a rotational horizontal sport? Well, when you look at jumping, measuring force, many of the people probably don't have access to a force plate, but you at Purdue went through force plate testing. And with force plate testing, what we're measuring, there's various jumps that you can do, but real simple, the most popular force plate test is a counter movement jump. That's when you're standing up on the plate, you dip down, you jump up, and you land.
Yeah.
Well, on a force plate, it measures ground reaction force. And there are a lot of different metrics that you can gather and glean from that data. One of the most important ones is power, right? What is power? Power is force times velocity. And so you can measure the amount of force that you're putting into the plate and the amount of time that it takes you to do that. So that is a critical metric for softball, right? Which is a game about force production. How much force can you generate in this short amount of time, right? Hitting, force production, throwing, force production. If you look at all the movements within softball as it relates to hitting and movement, it all falls within under 1 second for the most part, except when you're moving and running, field the ball, catch a ball, running from home to first and so forth. So jumping is incredibly important, and it tells you a lot of great information. So with that being said, when you look at various jumping activities that you can do, all right? 2 types of jumps. One is an isometric squat jump. So what we're measuring there, or what we're looking at there, so we go into an isometric squat jump. That is going from a static position. So we're in, let's say, a quarter squat position. So I'm in a quarter squat.
Yes.
There's no change in joint angle. I'm basically frozen. I load my arms on command. I jump up and I re-land back in that athletic position. Right. So what we're measuring is the ability to generate force from an isometric position. In other words, we're taking out that counter movement.
Yeah.
We're isolating that movement. All right. So that's a great movement. Okay. Counter move jump. That's when we're standing tall, we dip and we drive.
Yep.
Counter movement is very, very important in throwing, because to throw, right, here's your counter movement. We now go back to throw forward. Hitting, we go back to go forward.
Yes.
So with a counter movement jump, what I would start with, a counter movement jump. I'm standing tall, I dip, drive, boom, jump, re-land back in that athletic position, ankle, knees, and hips bent. Yes.
Right? The landing is key.
Huge. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at ability to absorb and the ability to produce. And most athletes, when they land, right, think of your lower extremity like springs. Right? Think of like the spring load effect. So when we land, right, we want to be able to land like we're landing in pillows, but then be able to push off the ground like we're a rocket ship taking off.
Yeah.
So both of those are equally important. If we then progress to continuous jumps where we're load and explode, we're getting off the ground quick, we can either do that for quickness, where we're not jumping really high off the ground, 6 inches, quick. We're training the reactivity of our chain, or we're gonna go for height, right? And so now we want to be able to produce more force by putting more force into the ground, right? So it's a longer contact than the quick stiff jumps. The other ones, the quick 6 inches, we're working stiffness. The other ones, we're working longer amplitude, bigger range of motion, right? So now we're working more power dominant type things where it's a hip dominant, whereas the short stiff ones are ankle dominant.
Yeah.
So when we look at softball, it's such a twitchy, quick, explosive game.
Yep.
And those jumping movements are gonna help train the body to be able to produce force fast.
I love, like, seriously, I don't think many people can geek out like this. Like, there's a reason why we're friends. And it's so, I love that you were talking about the quick bursts, and then the ones where you lock and load and attack. Like you're saying, like the short, quick ones that are for the ankle mobility and power, that's kind of going to relate to your speed. Like when it comes to getting out of the box and get to first fast and stealing bases. So that, I love that you broke that down, and I really hope people are taking notes right now, because this is like gold. This is like money, free money right now. Yeah. So can we now dive a little bit? Go ahead.
Let me touch on this real quick. So common faults, common movement faults, particularly with younger athletes, whether they're coming out of the box or if they had to test. They're at one of these Nike Spark events, and they got to go out and they got to test for a 20-yard dash, right? One of the common faults of this, acceleration position. Okay, when we think of acceleration, the name of the game is to be able to position the body. So we're at a roughly 45-degree angle, right? And we don't want to swing from the hip. That first step, most kids swing. Can you see it?
Yep.
They swing from the hip. And when they swing from the hip, the foot strikes out in front of their center of mass. And typically, if that foot strikes out in front of the center of mass, they're in a flat-footed position, their shin is vertical, and so in order to complete that stride or to go into my next stride, my hips have got to come over my base of support before I can begin to really generate and attack the ground down and back, right?
Yeah.
And generate speed. Because the name of the game is to overcome inertia. The name of the game is those first 3 to 5 steps to accelerate toward our destination, accelerate toward the bag. So what we have to understand is, just like hitting is a total body movement, just like throwing is a total body movement, accelerating and running is a total body movement. And so the synchronization between the lower extremity and the upper extremity, using the upper extremity, big arms, right, punching the knee forward, big thigh separation, and attacking the ground and back with that stiff ankle that we get from those quick jumps. Now we get from point A to point B. The second common fault that athletes have is that they fold.
Yeah.
They bend. So when they come out of the batter's box, they do this, boom, and they fold. And when they fold, now we shut off that big muscle, that glute. Then it makes it harder for us to push against the ground and get that great hip extension, right? To be able to punch the knee and attack back. I always tell athletes, all right, stand up tall. Okay, now bring your chest down to your thigh. Okay, now bring your knee up, and then strike the ground. Stand up and do it. Bring the knee up and strike the ground. Which one's easier? I like standing up. Gotcha. So now we're going point A to point B. All we're doing now is we're doing that Michael Jackson, I'm dating myself, smooth criminal lean.
Yes.
Right? And now we can attack the ground from this, our power line position. So when you look at, it's so interesting, coaching now, coming back, right? So having been fortunate to work with so many great athletes like yourself in college and pro athletes and and all that, coming back. And I have young softball players and I have young athletes, and it's teaching them the fundamentals of movement, right? And so, like, you're used to working with high-level athletes that you might give them one cue, two cues, and then boom, they got it, right?
Yeah.
But the younger athlete, man, you got to drill it. So young athletes understand that everything is a process, and that if you continue to work on fine-tuning your gross motor skills, eventually you're going to be able to put it on autopilot. You're not even thinking about it, and bam, point A to point B.
Yeah, I think so. The biggest thing that I've learned with youth athletes is, like you were saying, like if they're in a loaded position to go, a lot of them, their first move is just to go straight up and they lose it. Like, obviously when you're at peak speed, like you want to be standing straight up, but like you said, the most important steps are the first 3 to 5. And that doesn't matter if you're leaving the box. That doesn't matter if you're leaving first to go steal second. That doesn't matter if you're on defense, bursting to go grab a ball. Like, outfield needs to make the most of this too. So getting everything aligned, and I always talk about this too, and we'll end with this before we talk about nutrition, but I always make an emphasis on making sure your hips, your shoulders, and your feet are in the line of where they need to go. Like, because so many people, they stand on the bag and their feet are like this way, but they're trying to go straight. And I'm like, your first move is going to go out and you just lost half a step.
Like skiing.
Yeah.
Like skiing coming out.
Yeah. So how important is it, do you think, to get just all of those core elements aligned, like at least just making your toes go in one place? Because your knee is always going to follow the direction of your toe, in my opinion.
Right. That's a great point. And here's the deal. Movement starts at your feet.
Mm-hmm.
It starts at your feet. So we want to make sure, like cues, okay? You see the person, toes out, they're duck-toed. All right, you're at 10 o'clock. You're 10 o'clock on that side, 2 o'clock on this side. Let's get to 12 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
right? Little cues. Let's get to 12 o'clock. Then the shin angle.
I like that.
Okay, so our shin, I want you to close the door. I give them little cues, close the door. So we're going to bring that shin down toward the ground, right? So we bring that shin down toward the ground. Now we're loading that gastroc soleus complex. So we're putting it on stretch in conjunction with what's happening above it, right? And now we're in a position where we go, that rubber band, boom, we got everything projected in the direction we're trying to go.
Yeah, I love this. I'm learning so much. Like, the cues that you're giving right now are so good. Like, they're gold. Like the 12 o'clock, just keeping it simple for athletes is, I think, the key. There's one thing that I saw on your website that I want you to hit on, and that is living the 24/7 athlete lifestyle. Like, I saw it on your website and I freaking love it. And right now, like, people are stuck at home and they're forgetting what that means.
Yeah.
Like, they're getting lazy. They're eating too much food. They're watching too much TV. Like, help them.
Man, first off, everything's about balance.
Yeah.
Everything's about balance,
Mm-hmm.
right? And during this time, we're inside more. So our activity level is going to be lower, which means we're burning less calories, right?
Yep, exactly.
Being in the home, like, I know I got my boys home. And I'm not going to even try to front and say that my boys are super healthy. They're not. They see these chips around here. But here's the deal. You start snacking more. And you got to make sure you're snacking on the right things, because your calories, your total energy expenditure is down, but those snacks, they'll creep up on you. It may not be day one. It may not be day two. But you look at it longitudinally over a 7-day period, 14-day period, 20-day period. All of a sudden, next thing you know, you've put on some weight. You put on like 4, 5, 6, 7 pounds. That's why it's so important that you dial your nutrition in. And I'm not a nutritionist, but I've worked with some great ones, including my go-to person is Dr. Kathy Sands. And I have a podcast that we've done great podcasts together. So you guys want to go onto my website at coachcarlisle.com, click on podcast. Phenomenal professional in the area of sports nutrition. And she's a professor at Jacksonville. But in any event, you have to watch that balance, because if you don't, like I said, it will truly creep up on you. And you have to, with your nutrition, right? It's about balance. It's about balance, and it's about your nutrient timing. So here's my recommendation. your heavy carb, let that come after you train, right?
Yeah.
Let that come after you train. And in terms of your portion, you got to make sure that there's something green on your plate, preferably two to three servings of something green on your plate, right? You want to make sure there's a protein. I know that a lot of people have different dietary preferences. Some may be vegan, some that's your deal. But some type of protein, because that protein is for muscle rebuilding, and I know that you guys are going to be training, so we want to make sure that we're feeding the muscles so that the muscles will grow and the muscles will recover.
Bingo.
One of the common misconceptions that people have is they think that the muscle grows when they're training, and no, your muscle's going to grow as a result of getting good sleep, as a result of being nice, hydrated, and your muscles are going to go with having the adequate protein.
Yeah.
How much protein? It depends.
Yeah.
Right? Female athletes, 1.2 kilograms of protein per kilogram of body weight. Males, 1.5. It depends if somebody's trying to put on more muscle, like I used to have. Anyway.
You still have muscle, don't worry.
Yeah. It depends on what your goals are.
Yeah.
What you want to accomplish. But you have to be, very conscientious of your eating schedule during times like this. Are you eating after 7 o'clock at night? You're eating those unnecessary calories. Here's the deal. Body fat. Body fat is simply this. I step on a scale. I get my body fat measured. Lean mass, fat mass, right? How much of my weight, without getting technical, we could go deeper on this. How much is lean? How much is fat? Fat typically is non-functional mass. So if we want to be faster, if we're within our optimal range, not going crazy, but being within that optimal range of where we need to be, the best way to be more explosive and faster is to dial your nutrition in so that you're within that optimal range for your body type. There are different people, different heights, different body types. Males, females, people are different. So anytime when I'm talking to my athletes about nutrition, I think the first thing they got to understand is, one, you got to have balance. You got to make sure that, again, you're getting your protein, you're getting your carb, you're getting your proper nutrients, and your nutrient timing is dialed in based on your workout and then based on your schedule.
Yeah.
Because again, the snack time after a certain period of time, those are unwanted calories. If you're gonna snack, make sure that you're snacking on something healthy, because chips will add up. 4 here. The next thing you know, grab a couple more.
Yeah.
Grab a couple more.
One of my favorite tips from my dietitian was, a lot of times when you're hungry and you're like, why am I hungry? I shouldn't be hungry. I just ate. It's because you're not hydrated enough. Like your body, like dehydration will lead to hunger, but like you're actually just needing water. So a lot of times when people are like, why am I hungry? I shouldn't be. Drink more water. Like that will make you not as hungry. And when I learned that, I was like, man, I was always hungry. And then I started drinking more water and I'm like, okay, I'm not hungry as often. So that was like one tip that worked for me. So your battery's about to die, so I don't want to keep you any longer. I want to be able to sign off. And can we tell people about the thing that we worked on, or is that a secret?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. So Coach Carlisle has a podcast, and I'm going to watch Kathy Stein's episode about the food because I'm excited about that. And you've interviewed so many professionals in every aspect of training, and I think it's absolutely amazing what you're up to. And I was honored to have been interviewed by you recently. I can't wait for that to eventually launch. All my viewers will definitely know about it.
Could I say one thing in closing?
Yeah.
First off, those that are out there, stay safe. It's tough times for everybody. Everybody's being affected right now. This is where we truly got to band together as a national community.
Yeah.
It's a time, it's unprecedented with what's going on, but just like everything, we'll get through it without a doubt. And young athletes, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. That's the key.
Yes.
Your time will come. This will pass, and those who have taken advantage of this time to get better in ways that they couldn't or that they weren't focused on before this, they're going to come out on top. Remember this. Remember this, because this is key. In sport, your limiting factor always shows up. Right, Coach?
Yes.
Your limiting factor always shows up.
Always.
And so you gotta make your weaknesses your strengths. So there's always things that you can work on, and you just start by asking your coach the question, Coach, what area can I get better at? What do I need to get better? Continue to ask yourself that question, but most of all, don't just stay there and ask the question. Put it into implementation and execution and start working on those things to move you forward. So when you come out of this, you're better.
Yes. And that's the hardest part, is actually taking action. Because most people can say what their flaws are, but being able to go at it and be uncomfortable is the hardest part. So I think that's a great idea. Like, ask your coaches, because when authority is telling you this is the problem, you know it now, and they can probably give you insight on how to get better at it if you don't know. Can we do this again sometime?
Oh, no question.
Like next Thursday?
Absolutely. With Coach Ashley, you guys have an awesome, phenomenal coach whose heart is in the right place. She combines the technical knowledge with her coaching passion and her care for her athletes. You guys are in great company. So I'm honored. Thank you for having me on. Greatly appreciate it.
You're the best. So same time next Thursday?
Let's do it.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So excited. This was so much fun. I can't wait to see you next week. Tell the family I said hi. Please give them big hugs from me. And I hope I see you guys soon.
Coach, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Okay, that was so much fun. Okay, so we did that interview on Instagram, but I wanted Facebook to be here because this is one of my biggest coaches and mentors. He knows more about just the human body and how it can perform at its peak. And so I was so excited. He wanted to do some sort of an Instagram live. He's like, you're the queen of Instagram live, and I know nothing. So I was like, come on the show. We'll just hang out. So this was so much fun. It's starting to get like dark outside, so I'm like pixelated. But I hope you guys learned a lot from him. I'm excited. He decided that this week and next week, we're going to hang out at about the same time, about 7:00 on Instagram, and probably do the same thing Facebook Live, unless I can figure out how to get him on here too. We'll see if we can do that. But if you have any questions, I am so excited. You guys are the only ones I'm telling because Instagram's off right now. It's going to be a course. It's going to be a course where every single day you get a 30-minute prompt to take action on your dreams. And if you don't have a dream, we're going to help you create one. So I wanted to be able to give you guys like physical things, like Coach Carlisle was saying on Instagram or here earlier, physical workouts that you can be doing to keep up your strength, keep up your power, still maintain your speed, so that you're not getting worse over this time, but you're getting better. So it's going to be, I'm going to ask Coach Carlisle, and I think he's going to say yes. He's going to give me 2 workouts to build inside that course that we're going to keep doing throughout the 2 weeks of this course. But it's going to be 30-minute prompts. So you're going to take action on your goals. You're going to take action on your dreams. You're going to come up with a dream. You're going to find accountability. You're going to be around a community that's also working to go get what they're after. And I'm so excited for this to launch. I'm literally working tirelessly right now. About half of it's done. I have the rest of it to create. It's going to start on Monday. And then every single day on Inside Facebook, we're going to do a live, just basically where I'm teaching you guys what the 30-minute prompt is of that day. And then I'll be in the next day at 11, the next day at 11. So it'll kind of be like school in a way, but it's going to be way more interactive. So if you guys have questions for me at 11, we can talk about it. And I'm building a regimen and like basically like a lesson plan for you every single day so that you can build your mental muscle and build your physical ones from home. Okay. So that's what I'll be doing. It's starting next week. If you guys want to listen to Coach Carlisle again, hop on here at about 7 next Thursday. We're going to do the same thing. And I'm so excited because he's a genius. Like, he's so smart with everything that he does. And I can't wait to see him soon. All right, you guys, take care. If you guys have questions about the course that I'm launching, I'm going to have some links probably come out tomorrow about it. But I'm excited for this because I know you guys need things to do and productive things to do to still maintain where you're at and get better in this time. Like Coach Carlisle said, like there are going to be people that walk out of here. What did he say? If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Like, genius, because y'all are going to have a season one day. Like, it's going to happen. And those people that aren't taking proactive approaches at home are going to show up to season and they have to go get ready again. Stay ready. Stay ready. And I'm going to help you do that with this new course. Like, I want this to be something that everybody takes advantage of because it's going to help you maintain and reach your goals.